People with street smarts, what is your most street tip? Always look like you know where you're going, even when you don't. If possible, look up some locations nearby, so if anyone asks where you're going, tell them one. There is no shame in running away from a fight. Those who run away live to fight another day. Wouldn't they just run away again? Those who run away live to run away another day. Walk on the road if you're in a real shady neighborhood and it's late at night. Not in traffic but away from alleyway entrances. Yup, especially in sketchy suburbs, middle of the road you are the furthest distance away from all potential hiding places for people with ill intent. I used to have a regular route through a seedy part of town, and I always figured people walked in the middle of the road there because life was hard and they just didn't give a fuck. Never occurred to me that it could be a safety thing. If an attractive woman asks for directions, look for her partner behind you or going into your car to take what they can grab. Typical vacation area scam. You can get into a lot of places by holding a pizza. If someone starts to loudly state that they've lost their wallet or phone, don't obviously or immediately go to check on yours in your bag or pocket. It's a common pickpocket technique to get people to show the pickpockets where their stuff is. Instead, search the wrong pocket and scream, "Me too!" Lock your doors as soon as you're in a car. Had a friend who got into this habit. She hopped in her car one day and there was about a 0.5-second difference between the lock activating and a random guy yanking at the passenger's side with a knife. Stay safe out there. If you're in the hood and you see kids playing outside, you're probably safe. If there are a lot of people outside but no kids, be super cautious and walk with a purpose. If it's empty or only teenagers, young adults, get out ASAP. If you're in the hood and the children scatter, that's your cue to scatter. They might not completely read the situation, but they know when the energy changes. Know where the exits are at all times. I have watched video of the station nightclub fire too many times. Any place with a large crowd of people and limited exits, I memorize how to get the fuck out of the building as quickly as possible. Also try to get seats as close to that exit during the event. Blend in. Everywhere. Even if you're faking it. And if you're faking it, get out as soon as you inconspicuously can. My wife never understands why I say this. Her natural inclination when traveling is to unfurl a huge paper map and erratically walk around the public square with it in front of her, looking very confused. I'm amazed she has any possessions. Then she looks at me like I'm crazy for discreetly leaning against the wall and using my phone to look at a map. I could easily be texting, no one will target us. Confirm the license plate and make sure you are getting in your proper Uber Lyft. When my wife and I were in South Africa, we took a lot of Ubers. We always confirmed the plate number, and instead of getting in, I would ask, "Who are you here to get?" There have been too many cases of people getting into the wrong car and getting robbed, raped, or murdered, sometimes all three. We never had any issues. Additional tip I was told, if 2 people are in the vehicle, it's most definitely not your Uber. And if it's followed closely bar a car with more than 2 people, also probably not your Uber. Never commit a misdemeanor while committing a felony. Example. If there is a body in your trunk or drugs under your seat, make sure your inspection and insurance are up to date, all your lights are functioning properly, and your tint isn't illegal. Good call. I'll be sure to check my taillights before the next time I need to move a dead body. Trust your gut. If anyone seems a little too friendly, get away ASAP. I am a professional investigator. The reason you feel uncomfortable in these situations is your lizard brain sensing the dissonance between the body language and the message. Always trust your gut. Listen always and speak only when you need to. People don't know when to shut up. Also give the least amount of details. Giving people your whole life story is not needed. If you are involved in confrontation, pay attention to the hands. 2 things. If they reach into their pocket or under their shirt, you are likely going to be hit with something, stabbed, or shot. If they are tucking their hands by their hamstring and or clenching their fist while looking you up and down, you're about to get punched. Run or take the fight to them, because if either one of these things are happening, you're already the underdog. And something like 90% of first punches in a fight are overhand rights. Exercise your legs. Although in a bad situation they'll probably feel like wet noodles, if needed you'll be able to run. It will also show in everyday life that you are capable of moving effortlessly. Most people are sluggish, and it's not hard to notice. In crowded areas, carry bags, purses, and packages in front of you rather than behind you. And put your wallet and other important stuff in a zippered compartment deep inside. Pickpockets only got my makeup bag instead of my wallet when they pickpocketed my purse. The makeup bag served as a decoy. I live in a country with a very high crime rate. If I'm going into a dangerous area, I use a whole handbag as a decoy. Inside is a broken cell phone and a decoy wallet. Everything else is in a thin bag strapped to my waist under my clothing. And yes, about 10 years ago someone ripped it out of my hands and ran off with the decoy handbag when the train stopped at a station. It wasn't too bad back then, but these days don't take the train in South Africa unless you want to be mugged. Never yell back at a group of guys verbally harassing you. Just keep walking. Don't make a face, don't change your walking pace, keep going as they're not there. If you ever get pulled over at night, immediately turn on all your lights inside your car. In my experience, it tends to relieve whatever tension the officer may have since they can see you a little bit more clearly. Plus, it's better than having a flashlight shined in your face. When someone is staring at you looking for a fight, glance and keep them in your peripheral vision, but otherwise don't maintain a direct eye contact except for a brief moment. This exudes confidence, yet acknowledge their threat. Do not keep staring long at them, challenge look, or actually avert eye contact, signing you as vulnerable prey. Stand tall and if carrying one bag, or even bags, put that bag in your weaker, non-dominant hand so when you're under sudden attack, you could react faster. Do not burden your dominant hand in groceries, purse, whatever in a high-risk area. It's better to carry 2 bags in your non-dominant hand than having each hand carrying a bag. I live in a third world country and most of the time this is what we're taught. When going to a shady neighborhood, dress down, as much as possible, don't bring a bag, or if you do, make sure the bag is something you can easily put in front of you. Do not put your money in just one item like your wallet, hide bills, fold or flatten them in your phone case, your socks, hidden pants pocket, etc. This will serve as your emergency money in case you lose your wallet. Wear dark sunglasses when taking a public transport so you'll be harder to read. If you are a tourist, ask the locals around for the exact price, for fare, for food, for item. Some street sellers tend to scam tourists and make them pay a ridiculous amount. I saw this happen, but the tourist didn't buy the item cause his friend, a local, stopped him. If you're talking to a stranger and they start looking around, as if checking for witnesses, you gotta leave quickly. Mind your own business. If you see someone doing something they shouldn't be doing that isn't hurting someone, drinking on the train, stealing, illegally selling stuff, keep it moving. Don't stare either. Trying to get a stranger to abide by your version of right and wrong can end in you getting jumped very easily. So yeah, if it isn't hurting anyone, it's not your business. Don't put a target on your back over some moral high ground. The most practical self-defense item you can own is a very high-powered flashlight, especially one with a strobe function. Drawing a weapon will always escalate a situation, and may cause any aggressor to fight with lethal force. You also cannot use a weapon preemptively except in very clear self-defense scenarios. You can't shoot someone just because they look shifty. You also cannot legally carry them in many places. None of this applies to a flashlight. You can legally and inconspicuously carry it anywhere. You can use it without provocation, without legal or moral issue. It is also highly effective. It is incredibly difficult to hit or stab someone who is shining a 1000 lumen strobe light in your face. It can be almost impossible to properly see where that person is, and it will be painful to even look at them. As a bonus, flashlights are just super handy tools to have in day-to-day life. What is your most street tip? Leave a comment and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this one.